Hello, my precious cinnamon rolls. My name is Phoephoe, and I'm here back again playing Loren, the Amazon Princess. In the previous episode, we met up with the elven faction, and we had a chat, and we witnessed a cutscene that our characters were not involved in, involving a succubus and some goblin, and it was creepy. But now we're going to go investigate the Dark Elves territory and see what's going on. The party was already well into their journey. The terrain was difficult to navigate, but made easier with the help of their new companion. Along the way, they were surprised to find an overturned cart right in their path. Draco says, "Who left this here?" Loren says, "Hold, show yourself." Out from behind the cart jumped a large and dangerous-looking dwarf brandishing his axe. The dwarf says, "Stay away, the lot of you. You'll ne'er get your hands on these goods." Eleanor lowered her weapon, realizing that the dwarf was only protecting the cart, not ambushing them. "We're being friendly." Eleanor says, "We cannot just leave him here, your highness. He looks like he's been out here for days." The dwarf says, I can handle myself. Stay away from my cart." Loren says, "He wants us to leave him." And Dora says, "He looks like he's starving." Eleanor says, "Please, I beg of you, help him." Loren rested her eyes on the dwarf as he seemed to shape where he stood. It was clear that he was malnourished, but too prideful to leave his cart behind. She grabbed the water skin from her hip and threw it at him. Loren says, "Drink." Nurse says, "Would you mind telling us your name?" "Ramos," he says. And then he poured the water in his mouth like he hadn't had a drop in days. Dora says, "Haven't you had any water?" Ramos says, "Just meat, lots of it." He gestured to the scant barrels near his cart. Draco says, "You're a merchant, aren't you?" Ramos says, "Aye, at least I used to be until my blasted wagon lost its wheel. I'm not much of anything now." Dora says, "Don't say that, you'll still be amazing merchant when you get back." Ramos blinked, staring deeply at the female dwarf trying to comfort him. He looked as if he were in a trance, and he's blushing. Ramos says, "Aye." Ramos says, "Sir Ramos, I will help restore your honour. It is against my ethics to leave someone in need of help, so please accept my donation to recover your costs." Mirth approached the dwarf and he held out his hand as if he were expecting a bag of gold. Instead, Mirth closed her eyes and waved her hand over the cart. The grass underneath it started to grow long and turn into vines, reaching out and turning it right side up. The vines then turned and bound themselves into a perfect circle where the missing wheel had been. When Mirth opened her eyes again, the vines had turned into solid wood. Ramos says, "My cart, it's fixed. Thank you, forest lady. It's as good as new." Mirth says, "It was my pleasure." Eleanor says, "Are there any goods we could purchase from you? We have a long trip ahead of us, and we may restore your merchant's honour yet." Ramos says, "Of course I got goods to sell. Just take a look." Right, so this is our first proper shop, I think. We can sell the gems we've got. I guess to get rid of that. List of mirrors. I'm going to keep anything that's better than basic armor, so I'll keep that vest of mirrors. So crossbow. We'll buy that for Dora. Buy that dagger for Eleanor. Actually, we'll buy one for Dora as well. I don't like that armor too much. It's not really any better than... Oh, bloodstained pauldrons. We'll have those. Running out of money now. I don't want anything that decreases Eleanor's speed, basically. Need a padded cap for Dora. Increases allies' speed. Increases speed. Resurrects character. We want another. Oh, don't have enough money. Okay. Inventory. Oops. I'm always doing that. I don't need anything else. Those, I can sell those. Pauldrons for you. And Dora. Okay, that's done that. And sell everything else that we just unequipped. That's from 90 gold, you can get that. And I think we're done here. Ramos regained a colourful disposition and happily showed the party his goods. After a few purchases, he seemed not only healthier, but happier. His eyes were still difficult to remove from Dora, however. That was a bit of an awkward sentence, but we understand he is staring at her. Right? Ramos says, bandits attacked me and I didn't know what to do. I couldn't just leave my cart in the middle of nowhere. Laura says, those are just things. You'd risk your life from material possessions. Spoken like a princess. Ramos says, being a merchant is all I've known, lady. Loren says, with that axe, I would assume you knew something about battle, too. Loren says, oh, this whole thing we've together a long time. Merv says, a merchant and a warrior, you're a most skilled man. Ramos says, you're gonna make me blush. Loren says, I agree, dwarves are a powerful people and would be wise to have by our side. Will you join us, Ramos? Glanced over at Dora one more time. And he's blushing again. Ramos says, yeah, couldn't keep me away. His accent seems to drift a bit in the text, doesn't it? Merv says, everyone is welcome to join us in this endeavour. Fight valiantly, brave dwarf. Ramos is something of a dwarven stereotype. And so a new member joined their ranks. They wasted no more time and continued towards their goal. But we got another warrior, so that's useful. Dora explained to Ramos their mission to rid the forest of Mesfit and his rogues. He seemed to hang on her every word. I never doubted Ramos for a moment. I knew I could trust him even if we had just met. I knew because I could tell he'd fallen in love with Dora at first sight. Love is what makes heroes of us all. Led by mirth, the party wandered deep into the heart of the forest-facing wonders Loren, and even Eleanor had never seen before. Rustling in the vegetation halted Mirth to a complete stop. Everyone slowed and looked back at her, more rustling. Mirth gripped her staff and walked towards the trees to the side of the path. Mirth says, the forest knows you're there, come out. It was silent as they all stared into the empty forest around them, but Mirth was so sure that someone was there. They were startled when they heard hushed voices behind them. When the voices stopped, an elf stepped out behind a tree. It was blue from head to toe, unlike the elves they had seen before. Mirth gasped. Several of the blue elves revealed themselves. Mirth says, but... Before Mirth could protest another word, the elves drew their weapons and charged. Whoa! That was a bit loud. Combat! A full party. We got everybody where I want them. Gonna take out the healer first. Plus, you can only attack the back row with a ranged attacks. Ramos doesn't have much in the way of attacks yet. She's cured their status effects and healed them, I think. Oh, they're vulnerable to ice.
I don't like you.
Ah! I didn't realise the warrior is guarding her, so we need to take him out. He's taking damage for her. Silly me. There we go. Oh! We've just swapped. Loren's been swapped into the back row. We're going to push back. Okay. Oh, she staggered. Right, okay. That's fine. Just defend for a while. Axe to the face. ice. Oh no, not Mirth. That's Mirth. Right, my bad. It's Draco that's got the ice.
I hope this is slightly uncomfortable.
Got a heal, which we don't. We'll heal Draco. There we go. There we go. And Ramos wants to swap with Dora. You rest for a bit. Got your magic points back up. Two left. And now they go in the front row, so everybody can hit him. Nice. Oh, Mirth needs to heal everybody again. Go. Almost done. Oh, that's just annoying. Swapping rows like that. Didn't help. All done. Level up Loren. Putting everything into strength right now. Level up Draco. We didn't get a skill point, so we'll just put everything in will. There we go. It says, why did these elves attack us? Why did they look odd? It says, they're dark elves. Draco says, dark? That's never a good thing. It said, they are Phoephoe hunting. They do not belong in this forest. It says, I don't understand. Mirth massaged her forehead. What's wrong? Eleanor asks. Mirth says, I wasn't expecting this. They only come into the forest to cause trouble, and I can usually tell before it happens. It says, then explain all these dashed goodies they've got under wing. I said, stealing this time? What now? Or says, looks like food. Draco says, really? Anything yummy? Can I have it since they're dead and all? Mirth sighs and took several steps away to compose herself. I said, they're attacking our food supply. They'll stop at nothing. You must hurry. Their roving gangs must end, and they must end now. Loren nodded. Now understanding the threat of the dark elves to the forest, Mirth continued to lead them. Far along the grass beneath, their feet had slowly turned into sand, and the trees thinned into nothing. Standing in the desert, shanty towers in the near distance. Loren says, where are we? Why has the forest turned barren? Mirth said, this land is beyond the druid's help. It's scarred by war and hate. Mirth's demeanour had turned cold since stepping out of the forest, as if she was withering just from being outside of her element. She withers any more, she'll get naked, I think. Mirth says, you will know it as the Orcish wastes. Upon arriving in the desert town and seeing it was completely inhabited by dark elves, Eleanor realizes that Mirth was tense because she was walking into enemy territory. Draco says, look at all the blue people. Dora says, shh, don't call them that, the dark elves. Draco says, why are they living out here? It doesn't seem fun. Mirth says, because they are not allowed in the forest. And says, why not? They are elves like the ones in the forest. Mirth was quiet for a moment, looking straight ahead. Mirth, no, says, no, they are different. The group proceeded hard, glances and sneers as they walked through town. They were not looking merely for any dark elves, but for the rogues who had been upsetting forests. So far they had only spotted women, children, and the elderly. While they looked harmless, Eleanor knew what Mirth said was right. The dark elves would be forever tainted due to the actions of their ancestors 1,000 years ago. The forest would still reject them. Misfit and his rogues are not here, Mirth says. They will be deeper into the forest. With all the orcs in the way, so it would be risky to... Rama says, are you alright, Miss? You look mighty tired. Mirth says, I'm well. The air is very dry, but I will be fine. Mirth says, why have we not simply asked where he is? Mirth says, Loren says, you, Elder, we are looking for the dark elf named Misfit. Where might he be? The old elf eyed Loren harshly, knowing exactly why the party searched for him. Loren says, "Tell us or we will force it out of you." She's so charming. Murph says, "Princess Loren." Old elf says, "You come into my town and threaten to make me give up my own children." Dora says, "Mesfit is your son?" Old elf says, "I consider all the dark elves my children. I am Tubar, and I am the only person keeping our culture alive." Cast an evil eye towards Mirth as she pursed her lips. Tubar, being exiled from the forest is a difficult life to survive. Mirth says that you grow tired of telling the dark elves why this must be the way, but even you know that the forest rejects you. Tubar says, "That is a lie. We can live in the forest. It is the elven scouts who seek to kill us." Loren says, "I do not care about this elven spat. I need to find Mesfit, and you will tell me where he is." Tubar says, "None of us know where he or his friends are. It changes all the time for this very reason." Eleanor caught the waver in the old elf's eyes, telling her he was not telling the complete truth. Quickly, she moved Loren to convince the princess not to do anything drastic. Friendly, I think. Eleanor says, "If you kill him, then we'll definitely not know where Mesfit is hiding." Eleanor says, "If you get it out of him peacefully, that's the only way to make sure the information is truthful." Peacefully? "Don't worry, Majesty, I will handle this for you." Eleanor worked away from Loren and approached Tubar personally. Eleanor says, "Please forgive my mistress, we've been walking for days and we are tired. We're on a mission to save our mother, and we need to rid the forest of all its disturbances to proceed." Eleanor says, "If you can do something in exchange for this information, we will gladly do it." The old elf examined Eleanor for a long moment. Tubar says, "If you truly mean it, there is something you can do for my town. There is a group of orcs led by a powerful ogre named Vork who've been terrorizing us. If you can rid the desert of him, then I will reveal what I know about Mesfit." Defeat Vork. Eleanor smiled and bowed to Tubar for coming around and waited till Loren. She looked dumbfounded that being nice even worked. Loren says, "Very well, we'll be back for that information soon. Be ready." Mirth laid a shaky sigh and followed Loren out of the city and into the vast desert. Loren's mother was always on her mind, even as she slept or fought. Not knowing anything about her mother's whereabouts or safety drove her mad with worry, and largely frustrated with every obstacle that got in her path. Looking back, this worry drove her to seem cold-hearted and cruel. They wandered through the desert, hoping to find a sign of the great ogre Vork. Dora says, "Hold on." Eleanor says, "What is it?" "Orcs everywhere. We stumbled into their filthy nest." Loren says, "Good. Oh, we must be close. You're ambushed by several orcs and won't have the time to heal completely between each fight. It is recommended that you save the game now." Oops. Yeah, party set up. Everybody's fine. So we got 3 warriors and a raider, which is ranged. Ice! Ice, everybody!
Try this on for size.
One down. My muskets. A lot of turns for some reason. Oh. She's paralyzed, right.
Try this on for size.
I'm glad I put the ice spell on him. There we go. Oh, he's guarding him. Right, yeah. And done. Dora's leveled up. Didn't have a skill point. Put everything into skill. Loren said they were no match for... Eleanor says, "Watch out, my grace, they're more coming up from that hill." Alright, we've got a healer that time. We need to get rid of that healer. I've staggered at him. Healer, funk the ice. Healer dead. Oh, she's paralyzed. Right. Defend. Oh, shoot that guy. Oh, dead. Good. And that should do it. Oh, not quite. There we go.
I'm relieved that everyone is okay.
Oh, Eleanor's leveled up. I'm going to stick with the hero tree because that's unique to us. Resurrection spell. More skill points. Most leveled up. Hail spell does water damage. Stinging swarm does air damage. Does earth damage. It's fine. We'll go in the ice, water damage to start with. Will. And Ramus. He's a berserker, I think. It's passive. Berserk increases character attack but lowers defense. And you get everything in strength. Okay. And it says it looks like the way is clear now. Paddy approaches the cavern. Bones are scattered outside haphazardly and a noxious smell was pouring from the mouth of the cave. This has to be the ogre's den. It says, alright, you slimy, scruffy piece of no good dung. Show yourself so we can dice ya. As expected, a loud grumbling escaped from the cave, followed by heavy footsteps. The stomping ceased and bright eyes glowed in the darkness. Many small sets of eyes joined them. Eleanor says, you're going to wish you hadn't said that. Ramus shovelled backward, sees the axe clutched closely. Orcs piled up the cave with their teeth bared. Fork, the ogre, finally stepped into the light and looked ready to kill. And says, die. Boss fight. Now, just because I'm going to end this episode here, just because I can. Hi, this is Phoephoe. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, comment, and if you really liked it, please subscribe.